What's going on, YouTube? Today I was inspired. Well, technically 2 or 3 days ago when I started writing the script, I was inspired. I wanted to make a video on a daily routines because I think that there's so many good daily routines out there, and I thought, well, I should throw my information into the foray, see how it compares to the other information you guys are getting, see if I can inspire you guys to change any of your daily routines or tweak your daily routines based on how much time you have. Because I think, honestly, what doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to daily routines for those of us who work a lot, sometimes we get home and we're like, all right, I got 20 minutes. What can I accomplish in 20 minutes before I have to eat, sleep, and go to bed? So I'm going to be talking about all that today and more. Before we jump into the video, if you would not mind, is to like the video and share the video. That would be pretty awesome of you. And we do have a video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Bloodline, Heroes of Lithis, one of the most unique, fun games that I have had the pleasure of playing, which is a returning channel sponsor, which you definitely need to check out using my link in the description below. Bloodlines combines a bunch of different fantasy elements in a very fun mobile game, including an amazing resource/kingdom management game, but my favorite part is the ability to collect a bunch of different champions, including elves, orcs, lycans, demons, demigods, dragonborn, vampires, and more, and you are able to use their gacha gameplay hybrid system to actually combine these champions together to pass down unique traits and talents between their offspring. You're also able now to participate in Guild Wars, a new system where you and your guildmates can get together and conquer guild territory from other guilds for unique prizes, such as Legendary Bloodcraft Legends, which you're able to combine into your armies. With a unique hybrid system, amazing gacha gameplay, awesome storytelling, and much, much more, you guys definitely need to check out Bloodlines today. And if you utilize my link in the description below, you're going to get access to 1 free summoning crystal, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds. But also, for the next 7 days, the first 20 players who leave their in-game account ID and username in the comment section below will receive a free Legendary Female Orc Champion, Ugrull, who's going to be one of the best warriors to carry you in the early game. So, for all those reasons and more, download Bloodlines Heroes of Lithis today. And going forward, I'm trying to find video sponsors such as that one that give you guys a direct reward for commenting, by being involved, or whatnot. So that'll be in the pinned comment again. And you might wonder what's behind me, and we're going to talk about that in the outro. So stick around for that. And you probably could tell what I'm going to say based on where I am. And I do want to add that this isn't in a particular order. I do plan to highlight what is more important versus less important. However, that will always depend on your goals in ESO. However, I always think that it's important to talk about doing your daily writs, because whether you're a mid-game player, a new player, an end-game player, a middle/end-game player, a northwest, a north-northwest type player, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever level you are, it's generally recommended for you to do your daily writs. What is a daily writ going to do, and why should you do it? Basically, every single day you're able to craft different types of items such as enchanting glyphs, alchemy things, provisioning foods, drinks, etc. You get to do these, you get to turn them in. You not only, if you're a low level, get a lot of experience, but if you get a lot of materials, you get a lot of gold just for doing them. You get a lot of XP just for your character. If you're an endgame player and you're a higher level, you have a chance to get more gold materials. It's got something for everybody. Not only could this be a great way to level up your crafters, but it's also a great way to utilize your maxed out crafters. So it is a win-win for everybody, and I always hit upon it first because I know so many people that don't do them every day, including myself. You might be wondering, you're like, hey Jake, it's a Sunday and it's 8:18 when you're recording. Why haven't you done your daily writs? Because I knew I was going to record this video. But the most essential thing to do every day is your daily writs, no matter who you are or what your goals are. So get them done. This next tip is going to really hit home to those of us who sometimes work really bad hours, and that is going to the stable master to upgrade your mount. Now, it's important that you do this on as many characters as possible, because if you may not have already noticed, There's a 20-hour cooldown, and it can be a pain in the ass when you're ever trying to utilize a new character, or even a character that you're sometimes tweaking. Do I want to make him a tank? Do I want to make him a healer? Do I want to make him a DPS? Do I use this character really for anything? It's always nice to level them up daily. And do you know what the best thing to level them up is? Carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the best thing to level anyone up in, because having more ability to hold on to extra items is just so helpful. For example, you may have a level 3 character who you're not doing tits all with. You can just throw a bunch of items on it, boom, extra storage. Half of ESO is storage management. The rest of it is just split up between PvP, PvE, and housing. The other half is storage management. So, increase your ability to store those items, and then go to speed, and then stamina. You'll thank me later. Next daily routine that I think is important to consider is actually your daily dungeon as well as your daily battleground. Now, this can be a little bit tricky depending on the type of character you have. So let's talk about why I suggest both of them, and then we can talk about which one is more important for you. So, the reason I suggest this, it's just easy for transmutes. Very easy. The rewards are also pretty good. You get a good chunk of gold. Battlegrounds, AP, Rewards of the Worthy has some really neat things in them. Overall, just pretty cash money of you to do. Now, the other reason is experience. Now, doing dungeons alone already gives you a lot of XP, as does doing a lot of battlegrounds gives you a lot of XP. You can see that I would get 101,000 experience if I went and did this activity, and that is not including any boosters that I would have. So if I popped an XP scroll, went into this bad mamma jamma, boom, we're going to get even more. So I always encourage you guys, if you're looking for experience, to do both of these. And if you have low-level characters and you're like, oh, I don't really have a whole lot of sets on these, do just the daily dungeon. Your daily dungeon, you will only get things tailored to your level. So if you are less than level 35, pretty much every daily dungeon that you will do will be a cupcake walk in a field of unicorns, where you will do nothing but eat marshmallows the whole time and get carried by people who are probably 3,000 CP. I promise you this will be the experience. This is not legal advice though, so if anything bad happens, I'm not held responsible. But I definitely encourage you guys to do both of these if you can and it fits your situation. My next suggestion is pledges. So if you come down to this little silly rapscallion Undaunted Enclave, you're going to be able to take pledges from these bad boys starting at level 45. You're actually going to be invited here, and it's going to give you an Undaunted key. So, why do I find the Undaunted pledges so valuable to do? One, because they're easy. You're pretty much going to be able to complete these two guys' pledges right here, Madge and Gilran, very easily, with this little orky lady down here being a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. You're going to be able to get yourself some Undaunted keys. I've been on record before stating that Undaunted keys are probably one of the most valuable currencies in the game. Not only are you rolling for monster set shoulders, but you also are able to get rare motive pages as well, in addition to potential gold pages as well when they're in session. So not only do these bad boys have the ability to sell you these monster sets, that you're also able to get a lot of goodies from them. So for example, you can save up 50 keys and buy this shoulder, but if you've watched any Jake Clips videos before, you know it's a terrible idea, because every time you buy a singular key, you have a very good chance to roll for this here shoulder. So not only are you going to get one of basically every of these sponsored monster set shoulders, you're also going to be rolling for mercenary motives, which is great, as well as this bad mamma jamma here. You have to use the vendor that you can buy the shoulder through. However, you can buy the mystery coffer or any of these other coffers. However, I generally just don't suggest those because the math just is not as good. But this is a topic I'm very passionate about, as you can tell. I absolutely love turning all my Undaunted keys in and never having any. So if you would like to do them, I would also encourage you guys to do these on veteran hard mode, as you're going to be getting an extra key for doing that. But it's actually just important that you do them in their whatever ability and capacity you have, because sometimes this little silly goose down here is like, I'm going to send you to Frost Vault, which is a terrible hard mode. So it might be worth it instead to just skip this little silly goose, log on another character, and then go to the Dungeon of Sunshine and Rainbows and Unicorns, Arx Corneum, which you could probably do blindfolded on hard mode, and just do that one again, as opposed to going down to the other one. So that's my suggestion for you. It does require a little bit more time, obviously, but the currency is just so valuable for doing it. This next one has to do with your companions. So your companions have the ability to level up these guild lines. So the way to do that is actually to do guild daily quests. You can see I'm here with my boy Oliver Baron, and he's going to give me a quest to go pick up a relic and bring it back to him. It's riveting stuff. This is the Mages Guild daily quest, which you can find inside your city's capital. There's also a Fighters Guild one and an Undaunted one. It is not the pledges. It's that little silly goose that was sitting up on the platform up there. Now, the reason why I'm standing at the Mages Guild, because I think that it's actually the best one to do if you are strapped for time, because it also levels up your Mages Guild line. It's the equivalent of finding a handful of books, and as we all know, leveling up the Mages Guild is like pulling teeth. It is probably about as a fun experience as it is to sleep on a bed of nails, so I encourage you guys to try to always subvert it as much as possible. Going around picking up books, you can definitely help yourself by doing the Mages Guild, and for every single one that you complete, you level up your companions guild line by 1. So 8 to 9, 1 quest, 9 to 10, 1 quest, and then max is level 10. Most people think that you have to do multiple quests to go from 8 to 9 and then 9 to 10. That is not true. It is always exactly 1 quest. So within 9 days, you're able to fully level out your companions guild lines. The next daily routine is a daily quest. Wow, you're thinking to yourself, Jake, very crazy. So, every single DLC zone, yes, even that DLC zone that you're thinking of in your head, has daily quests associated to it. Now, why do you want to do those, you may be wondering. Good question. Because every single zone, including the newest one, Galen, has inside of it a lot of goodies. They usually have better sets than Overland sets, because the zone, when the DLC was released, they bumped the power curve. They have furnishings that are specific to that zone, so they usually look pretty baller, and they have motives tied to them as well as other goodies. So I am in Galen because Galen is super profitable to do. Selling the sets from Galen, especially the one where you eat a buff food and then it's like, I'm going to hit you really hard, sells for a lot of money. So you're able to farm this not only for beautiful furnishing plans, but you're also able to farm it for amazing sets that sell. But you might think to yourself, Jake, well, you said DLC zones. There's quite a few DLC zones, obviously. For those of us who are strapped for time, it's not going to be very time efficient to do all of them. So which ones do you generally suggest? I generally suggest a couple tricks. You may be watching this in a year where Galen has been out for a year. We have a new zone called Necrom. And you might think, what should I do? I generally suggest that you should do the 5 most recent DLC additions / zones, with a couple exceptions. For example, Northern Elsewhere and Southern Elsewhere just had their event. If you're watching this close to when it comes out, a lot of their sets have been farmed into oblivion. You're not going to be able to sell them for at least another probably 60 to 90 days without them recovering their initial cost. So if you've just had a recent event highlighting a specific zone, whether it's Rothgar, Vardenfell, Clockwork City, or whatever, the zone is going to probably be decreased in its overall value. And as we know, inventory management is the true end game. I don't want you guys to have to hold on to a lot of valuable items that you have to wait 6 months to sell, especially because it's not like they're going to be worth 1 million gold in 6 months. They're just going to be worth like tens of thousands of gold. So not worth doing that. Now, but there are some little dark horses, as I will call them. The number 1 dark horse is Hughes Bane's daily quest, because if you go into the Thieves' Den and you do the heists there, you're actually rolling for some pretty good rewards. Why is that? Hughes Bane has such better rewards, even though it's been out longer, and that's actually for a really interesting fact, and that's because nobody wants to do heists, so the rewards and the sets that come from there, because it's a more complicated daily quest, generally sell for more. You generally also have to have a stealth-based character to do them, so you can't just go like you can to Galen with 10 characters, do 30 essentially daily quests without even having to share them with a friend, and then selling all those items. It is a little bit more tricky. and that's why it's worth a little bit more. Any other zones that I would suggest? I always suggest Blackwood, and now, unfortunately, I suggest it so often, I'm probably single-handedly crashing the market for Blackwood items, but furnishing plans are beautiful. The actual sets right here are amazing. Frostbite especially is an amazing set to sell. Good motifs, good furnishing plans. It's got everything you need. So Blackwood is definitely going to be one that can retain a good chunk of its value. And some other dark horses I would say include Fargrave, which also has really good items and really good sets attached to it. Are there any that I generally avoid? And the answer to that is yes. Somerset, for some reason, does not have very good sets, and unfortunately doesn't really have good overland motifs. I actually tied the Somerset motifs actually to fishing, so you actually will probably be better off with your time fishing inside of Somerset than doing the actual daily quest. But if you have questions about specific DLC zones, as there are numerous, put it in the comments below and I'll tell you what my thoughts are on that specific zone. And finally, we have what I would refer to as the dark horse of daily routines that I don't think really anyone suggests, and that is coming down and talking to Zahari. Zahari is going to give you a daily quest. You might think to yourself, well, that's very specific, Jake. Why do I want to do this one? And is this not a DLC zone? No, we're actually in Gratwood. We are all the way at this top little corner up here. And Zahari actually was a daily quest vendor that was given if you did the precursor quest, which you can still do for the demon weapon. Now, talking to her is going to give you a traditional daily quest where you're going to go and you're going to bring back and you're going to, came you saw you conquer. It's not like you're going to do anything super crazy, don't worry. It's very straightforward, very simple. It's set up similarly to pretty much every other daily quest. Why is this one so special? And that is because the odds of you getting something from here are what I call a lottery item. Now, what is a lottery item? What does that term mean? It means that you do this quest, it's like picking up a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket is basically like you scratch off the numbers, and if you get something big, you win. What could you get from here? And that is the Khajiit Brazier that sells for about 14 million gold plus. Now, obviously, this may not fit into your daily routine depending on how much time you have, but when you roll for an item that is worth 14 million gold and you're like me, sometimes you just have to go do it. All we have to do is head on over, kill 9 spiders, and then we're done. We have a chance to roll for something that's worth 14 plus million gold on console, worth even more on PC. It could be worth doing, depending on what your interests are. So I have to suggest it as part of a daily routine. Some people buy scratch offs every day. It's similar to that. That, however, is going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think. Are there any other daily routines that other people do? Other people who really like, we really have to make sure we're doing our daily endeavors, Do you feel that there are other dailies that I missed? Because, let me know in the comments below, because it is nearing the end of the month. It's a short month, don't remember. And we are doing a giveaway, 3 giveaway drawings. One will be a random comment, a comment from all of you. Every single comment is carried equally, so you can leave as many comments as you want. The second one will be the funniest comment. You can leave as many funny comments as you want to. And the third one will be a random subscriber. So boost your odds by subscribing, commenting, and, well, trying to be funny, because that will help your odds, because I appreciate reading your guys' comments while I'm at work, suffering, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of funny. So I really enjoy those. I enjoy reading them, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Find out why here after the credits.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
This Monday, February 20th, find out if you have what it takes to complete Jake Clips' first ever live Twitch obstacle course. Now, I've always wanted to do something different for my live streams, and we finally have a completed set time to do this. All you have to do is play on Xbox. Even if you have an NA character, bring over, make a level 3 on Xbox. We will do up to as many population as this bad boy house can hold, and we will be giving out a crown prize for entering. Now, very excited for you guys to be able to participate. Don't want to show you too much, but we will be giving out crowns as a reward. Live stream chat picked that last time, so we'll be going with that this time. All you have to do again to enter is I will do a big guild shout out as well as a shout out to everyone on stream before we get started. So anyone is able to port over to my house, and we will kind of go over the rules then on stream. A special shout out to those of you who helped build this house, because they also have a building service, which we will touch more upon here later, because this is not the only amazing thing that they built before. They build amazing houses basically for living on ESO. So very excited to show this to you guys and more, and I will see you guys then. I'm also really weird that my cat has not appeared at all during this entire recording session, so because she's been sitting right here sleeping, and then as soon as I started the post outro, she went and ran over there. So sorry you guys didn't get to see her today, but I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.